Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. So today I'm out at Fairview Park in St. Catharines, Ontario, and it's kind of an unremarkable park, but back in the day the Third Welland Canal used to go through this very spot, and today there's absolutely no trace of it except for these bridge abutments here. So apparently this was a bridge, and I'm not exactly sure what street it was that carried a road across this bridge, but nonetheless this was a bridge right on the canal, and it looks like what's left here is the center rotate segment, this piece, and the abutment on the shore on the north side here. Okay, let's take a look and see if this was the center. So this is actually the center rotate section of a swing bridge that operated between 1881 and 1932 roughly, and even if you look at it in the 1934 aerial photography, you can plainly see the bridge is there still. But I think at some later point they took the iron structure down, so this would have been on one embankment or one side of the canal, and then the other side of the canal had the abutment over there. So I would assume that the canal actually was in between here. So the Third Welland Canal would have flowed right between these 2 points. The north side of the canal would have been over here, and this is where this would have connected into some kind of road here, I guess. You can still see the pads up on top there where the bridge would have rested. Right there is one of the pads that the bridge would have rested on. And I think the other bridge resting pad is over here. So here's the other pad that the bridge would have rested on. And then all of this back here would have been basically support for the road coming in from this side. That's pretty cool. So if you can imagine, 100 years ago, there was a canal flowing between these two stone walls here. It's too bad there's no signage here to tell you something about this, or you know what it is exactly. It's unfortunate. Sometimes history kind of fades away and nobody really knows what this is all about. So they had some wonderful stonework, stonemasons back in the day, and they definitely did a nice job of the stonework, and then somebody kind of poured a blob of concrete on top up there, so it doesn't look quite so nice. So you'd have to imagine that right here there would be a road coming off of this and heading towards the lake. You can sort of see that this was an afterthought. It was some repair that was done at a later date. You can see some of this stonework here was starting to move around a little bit. I often look at these big chunks of limestone and I wonder, you know, why they have these little holes, and really every one of them has that, and I think it's really meant for lifting. If they put some kind of hoisting attachment on it, they can hoist these big blocks by some kind of crane, I guess. It would have to be one heck of a good crane though. Some of these blocks are quite big, like really quite big. It's hard to understand why they would need a kind of a drain tunnel underneath the center pivot point of the bridge, but maybe there was so much water they had to make sure that it went under the pivot point and not not undermining it, I guess. Just pretty amazing, really, that this is still here. This block is just like a monolith, just so solid. And it's interesting, the top two rows are a little different than the rest. They've got this really interesting curve on them. So it's probably sat idle since 1934 at least. It's interesting that some parts of the Welland Canal are still in situ and there's still water flowing through some of the old locks, and then other places it's filled in. So right in the city proper of St. Catharines, all of the land where the Third Welland Canal was has pretty much been redeveloped either into housing or a lot of parks. So some of it is here and some of it's not. Well, I hope you enjoyed looking at this old bridge on the old Third Welland Canal. If you know any more about it, please leave a comment below. Otherwise, thanks for watching.